All right, everybody, welcome to the Sarah Fraser Show. Welcome. Well, come on in. Oh my God, what did you bring me? You know, if you're coming to my place or you're coming to my show, you better bring me a goddamn gift. You know, I love gifts and I love giving gifts. I like giving, I like receiving. Hi, everybody. It's TSFS. You're watching me live. If you're on Twitch, if you're on my YouTube, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, and if you're on Facebook, start a watch party right now. Introduce this show to someone that has never heard of the Sarah Fraser Show. I love when you do that. And then I get new messages from people that are like, hey, bitch, where have you been? I saw you years ago on the radio. Or I just discovered you from Mystic Michaela and you got a whole blue aura going on with a splash of purple. What's up with that? Anyway. Hi, April Banks. Hi, Chuckles. Thank you guys. Definitely share the show. I have such a huge show for you today. We'll have to talk about, I want your thoughts on Kim Kardashian being trolled for her 40th birthday party. I want to know everything that you think about that. And I'm going to be honest with you. I actually think I'm going to defend Kim K on this. I really am. Also, Keith Raniere. You know, I've talked about it on and off. I've been watching The Vow on HBO. It was so good. If you get HBO, I actually have to say HBO over Netflix. I love HBO that much. Keith Raniere, huge sentence yesterday. And thank God, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to tell you right now, like, it's a goddamn miracle these cult people haven't contacted me because I would give them my entire savings and I would go. I was telling producer Alyssa, my favorite documentary is Wild Wild Country on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, with GWEN, who was this leader back in the 80s, who was a complete like cult. I said to my mom, how did you not leave us and then join this cult out there in like the Pacific Northwest? Bhagwan and Bhagwan Sheila, I would have bought him a Rolls Royce myself. I love these cult leaders, okay? They're trying to get us to nirvana until they want to fuck us. I got lots of thoughts on Keith Raniere. That story is bananas. And I got a crazy update about that NXIVM cult. So you would think after your leader was sentenced to 120 years, y'all would shut down? Major developments, okay? That is happening. Big engagement for Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani. I want to know if you like that couple. And so you all know I'm moving to LA, right? When? Don't ask me a date, all right? But it's coming very soon. In the meantime, I live in Virginia. Have you heard this crazy murder story of a local rapper who was apparently found decomposing in someone's trunk when they were pulled over for reckless driving in Florida? This story makes me want to get back into true crime, and it's so bothersome. I totally upset by this. So anyway, we'll talk about that. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Jennifer is on. Jennifer says, I love your comments, by the way, you guys. I love to read them. I'm saving this for later. I know a lot of people in a cult. I was part of it before I realized that it actually was one. I feel so better now. What? Tell us what cult. You're like, oh my God, tell us. Jennifer, do not blame yourself because I would be right there with you. 110%. JJ says, want to become famous? Okay, JJ, I don't want to hear your fake bullshit. Ryan, good morning. Ryan Burns, I absolutely love you. April says, nope, her post was what threw me off. Wait, April, what? Threw you off like you're unfollowing Kim Kardashian? I want to know all the details. All right, let me thank our sponsors and then we'll get into stories. So you all know the best way to support this show is to frequent my sponsors. With the sponsors, you always get great deals. I always get you a discount. We're heading into Halloween weekend. You need to have the Saucy app. Download Saucy on your iPhone, on Android, any phone, like your old flip phone. It works there too. They also have a free website, saucy.com. When you use code HeyFrase, you get $10 off your booze order. Saucy delivers alcohol to your house in 30 minutes or less. Yes, please. Okay. If you are turning up this weekend, who wants to get in the car? That's not safe. It's not wise. Now with Saucy, you just order all your alcohol, all your mixers, lemon, limes, the whole deal. They deliver it within 30 minutes in major cities across the country, including New York City, DC, Philadelphia, Chicago, and many, many more. You can check out their website, saucy.com, or their free app. Use code HeyFrase for $10 off your first order. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, this is awesome. I'm 17, but I have a full beard, so they're definitely going to serve me. No, you're wrong. All right, they'll check your ID when you get there, so don't even try that shit, okay? Saucy.com, one of my favorite sponsors. You will love them. Rothy's is another sponsor. Ladies, how about fabulous and comfortable shoes? Oh, and a handbag that matches. Rothy's has got you heading into fall. You've probably heard about the company making stylish shoes and handbags for women and girls out of recycled plastic water bottles. Oh, and they're insanely comfortable and machine washable. That's the best part. So if you have smelly feet, no worries. You can just like throw these in. Rothy's are the everyday flats for life on the go. They're stylish and versatile, and they go with everything from yoga pants to dresses and skirts. I love too, they have like camo, they have leopard, great prints, playful designs, and fun pops of color to every outfit while still looking polished and professional. Since Rothy's are seamlessly crafted from recycled water bottles, they're ultra comfortable as soon as you slip them on. That's right, there's zero break-in time for these fabulous shoes. So don't wait, have your mind blown, and feel good about helping out the earth. You can check out the amazing styles for their handbags and their shoes right now at rothys.com/Frage. Go to rothys.com, that's roths.com/Frage to get your new favorite flats. Comfort, style, and sustainability. These are the shoes that you have been waiting for. So head to rothys.com/Frage today and enjoy the discount. All right, where do we start? Let's start with Kim Kardashian because we'll just get that out of the way. I wasn't really going to talk about this, but I'm actually Team Kim. So Kim Kardashian got trolled all night last night on Twitter and basically on every platform and is now a meme for flying all of her friends and family to a private island. They all quarantined for 2 weeks. They all got COVID tested. Then she went down to a private island, and just for a moment, she was humbled for a weekend. They lived without masks and enjoyed their life. So people are like, this is the most out of touch shit that you've ever put up. Like, Kim, you've done a lot, you've done all these offensive things, but this is the worst. All right. And here's my thing. I don't find it that offensive. Don't we want rich people? Like, what do we think rich people are doing during the pandemic? They're not living like us. What do we expect from them? That suddenly, because there's a pandemic, they're not going to be tone deaf? Hey, I'll take this versus them preaching to us to vote. I'm so tired of opening up Instagram and everybody tells me to vote. Yeah, I'm a fucking adult. I know to vote. Okay. We got the word out. We're all getting out there. We're getting our ballots. We know what to do. Thank you. I really appreciate the concern. Here she is. By the way, was anyone else blown away by Rob? I'm sorry. This to me was worth it because Rob looks so good. Rob is back to hot Rob. Like, this isn't like Rob in his bedroom eating pizza and licking the crumbs off the sheets. This is like hot Robbie. He is back, y'all. Anyway, look, this is her being humble. This is all she knows how to do. I don't find this upsetting. I find this like typical for them. And what do we want them to do? Is she going to inspire us by staying home? No, she's inspiring us to get rich. So when there's another pandemic, we can all be on an island. This didn't bother me. This seems like them just being them, Thank and April's laughing hysterically. Ryan, I agree. Hot Rob is back. If this island weekend gave us anything, hot fucking Rob is back. He's lost weight. Did you guys see this story too? Apparently now he's getting into sports apparel and he bought a $250,000 limited edition, like Tom Brady jersey, I think from the Bucks. Can you imagine like going on some auction online and dropping 250,000? These people are already out of touch. What do we care that they're on a private island with a bunch of their friends? And everybody hating. It's like, I even saw Ken Burns, I think, not Ken Burns. Who's the guy from Jeopardy that was like a longtime Jeopardy winner? He was even trolling them. I'm like, dude, what? Anyway, Hot Rob is back. I really like that. Before I get into the Keith Raniere story, because, and Jennifer needs to come back on here because she was saying that she was in a cult. And I'm so fascinated by cults. I honestly, I thank God. I was contacted by Scientology in Frederick, Maryland a couple of years ago, and I almost went. Now, I actually was deterred because the drive is so long to Frederick, but that's about it. Otherwise, I was ready to join the Sea Org and clean up everyone's room. I mean, aren't we all seeking like the answer? They provide it. I mean, I'm there for it. I'm totally there. Anyway, maybe it's just me. So I'm here for that. Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani are engaged. Again, another to me motivational story. This should give us all hope. If these two kids who are completely opposite, I mean, he looks like he just got out of a duck hunting excursion, no matter what he's wearing. Do you know those guys that I'm talking about? If you grew up in a redneck state like I did in Maine, there are just some men. It's like no matter what they do, they always look dirty. He's that guy for me. You know, they always look like they just got out of the woods, like hauling a deer. Here you go. The tattoos. And doesn't he seem like a guy with dirt under his nails all the time? Fine, except for when he's fingering me. You know, it's like, I just, these two together inspire me so much. It's kind of like Schman and me, you know, opposites attract. Been dating since 2015. Am I the only one that thought they were dating longer than that? I love them together. I love the crossover. She's 51, by the way. He's like 44. 51. Is she not inspiring? Okay. I love the way she looks. I think they're a great couple together. To me though, I want to spend the night at their $14 million Encino, California home, because what do these two have in common? I mean, did they just load up the AK-14s or whatever and get out there and rifle shoot? I mean, I can't see them doing what they're doing together. April says complete opposite. Ryan Barnes says that he would have been a Scientologist. Ryan, I'm telling you, when they contacted me in Frederick, I was like, y'all, if you weren't an hour away, like if you were the DuPont location, I'd be there. Nita, oh my God, I love Nita. She says, no, Sarah, you were about to hold the cans, girl. LOL. Nova, doesn't he look older? I love my girl, Alyssa. Doesn't he look older than her? I agree. She's 51. She looks fantastic. To me, I find that the most interesting couple in Hollywood because I don't know what they have in common. And yet they seem incredibly happy. This is his third marriage, by the way. So at 44, he's been busy. Hell, I didn't even almost get married till I'm damn near headed to 44. This is number 3 for him. I think these two will work though. I like it. You think they'll have a kid together? What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. You think they'll get a surrogate? Or do you think she'll be like Janet Jackson and she'll carry it at like 56? Drop me a note. What do you think? I know. They're madly in love. I like the combo. I do. Let's talk Wendy Williams. And then I've got to tell you about Unsolved Mysteries. Wendy Williams. People are so concerned about Wendy. You guys, I hope Wendy's okay because Wendy's an icon of mine. She is a TV legend. To be on TV for 10 years. And, I met Wendy at Fox 5. So for those of you, many of you know this, I've been a longtime contributor at Fox 5. So I was there one day and here's some inside TV scoop, right? So when you have high profile guests at TV stations, lots of times, some of them are super cool. And then others they don't want anybody coming and asking them for a picture. I will tell you this. I mean, Wendy was difficult. Like Wendy had a huge entourage with her and she wanted one group photo. She did not want to take individual pictures. You couldn't speak to Wendy. And then they wanted everyone to stay downstairs. So like no one came up and disturbed Wendy. Okay. Girl, Wendy, come on. We've been longtime friends. Like you're famous, but you're not like Brad Pitt, If you guys have seen her show though in the past week, a lot of people are saying that she relapsed on drugs, including DJ Boof, who she used to be close with, and he used to be on her show. He says it's really bad and it's going to unfold. So one segment where the guy was like, how you doing? She was like, how? And that's all she could say. She couldn't come up with the rest of it. This was like during a pumpkin segment. Now, she sort of addressed it 2 days ago and said she's completely fine. She tries to put on the best show possible for us. And that was it. I'm like, all right, Wendy, but still, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. So she says everything is fine. I hope she is because she is an absolute legend. Alyssa says Wendy is a queen. I used to listen to her, April, before she was on television too, when she was in radio. I used to love her New York. I dated a guy in New York City. I would drive to New York on Fridays and I would hit her afternoon show when Charlemagne the God was on. And the two of them had the best dynamic. Do you guys remember when she was like on the red carpet and she would like say to Portia de Rossi, hey, like, tell me about the last woman you made out with? And Portia was so pissed. Like Wendy used to be so badass. I hope Wendy's okay, but I do think the stresses of this talk show after 10 years, because you're talking day in and day out. I think it's getting to her. Plus the divorce. I'm going to be honest. I don't know Wendy, but I do think she really loved her husband. As much as everybody hates the husband, the ex-husband, he had a love child with another woman. I think that broke her. And and April says she relapsed. Quarantine got the best. I think so too. I hope she is just a TV goddess. She's an icon. She's one of the best. She's never been beholden to celebrities and kept great ratings on a show. She's inspiring. She came up through radio. I'm praying for her. I hope everything's good, but she didn't really address it, which makes it sound like maybe something's going on. Unsolved Mysteries. Anybody watching season 2 on Netflix? Oh, you guys, I'm so glad I'm not alone in this because I just saw a story and I'm like, thank you. Is anyone else annoyed that the mysteries are unsolved? I know that's the name of the show, right? And I know that like they're trying to bring awareness, but I'm sorry. I watch this show and I'm pissed that none of the mysteries are solved. I don't know. Back in the day, okay, I used to watch this show in high school and then I would prank call them and tell them that I'd seen an alien when I hadn't seen shit, right? But you didn't have the internet back then. You didn't have cell phones. You had nothing else to do. And they were like, yeah, fuck off, kid. And like they really got mystery tips. But you're telling me now in the days of web sleuths, so many people are web sleuths out there. They can't put these out on the internet before they post them and then like let the internet go wild and find out. I am so bothered by this. One of the mysteries is oh my God, they must be 5 years old. 2 kids from Harlem in the 80s kidnapped. Well, I guess they don't know, kidnapped or abducted, or did a family member take them or whatever, completely gone from a playground. We don't have anything. And they like do this whole hour-long thing. And they're like, yeah, so there wasn't any DNA back then. There weren't any cameras. I think we got all the interviews. I'm like, what? You guys, these boys, like, we've never found a shred. They follow this fucking police dog that like goes almost to Central Park, and then the police dog loses the scent. Does anybody have an old sweater of this kid's? Like, can we try to find him? I'm sorry, I can't watch the show anymore now that these mysteries are unsolved. Put them out on Reddit. You don't think those fucks can find out where these people are? Yes, they can. That one drove me crazy. I don't know. It's too much. Like, I can't deal with them being unsolved. They need to solve them. All these documentaries, now when you watch 48 hours will give you an hour-long thing, what you think is unsolved. And then they're like, tomorrow, big 30-minute update with, that guy with a great voice. They're like, we'll be back. I'm telling you, I just had to rant because if I get bored, I'll turn on an unsolved mystery because I still do like some true crime. It's too unsolved for me. And I'm trying to think of what the first episode was. I can't even remember. I think it was like a guy who completely vanished. I'm like, how do people vanish now? I mean, they can track every move that we make here. Like basically your TV spying on you. Now, I know a lot of these stories happened back in the 80s and 90s when they did not have the technology. They didn't lock stuff down. They didn't make it happen. But if anyone else is irritated by unsolved mysteries, please. Okay, Stephanie, she has one. And I love your comments, guys. You can add your comments to the show. Stephanie says, yes, the unsolved mysteries that bugged me the most was Lester Eubanks. How can a killer be like, okay, this is the one. Thank you, Stephanie. My mind is like a sieve. I mean, nothing is sticking. Okay, I won't give it away totally, except I'll give it away. So there's one episode where this guy is like a serial rapist of a 14-year-old and murderer who sweet talks his way out of jail and has been on the loose for 25 years. And do you know, the only update that Unsolved Mysteries got was a police officer who goes, don't worry, we're very close. He's 70 fucking years old and he's been free for 25 years. You're close now. I would think you've had 25 years to call in a bunch of leads. The Eubanks one drove me nuts. He's free out there. He's probably living next door to us. Here he is. This guy is such a psychopath. Like he just like worked everybody in the jail system for years. They let this guy go to the mall Christmas shopping. This is back in like the 80s or early 90s. They let him go Christmas shopping after he murdered and raped a 14-year-old. They go, don't worry, just come back at 2:00. He doesn't return. I'm telling you, Unsolved Mysteries is unsolved and annoying mysteries. It's not like back in the day when people used to spot Elvis and then you'd call in a tip. Now it just drives you crazy. April says, they have a new company called Bond that can be paid to follow you or your family members. What? Okay, but I actually would do it because then if they go missing, you've got like a trail, right? That outright pissed me off. It pissed me off too. What the F? Ladita, I know. Tune into Unsolved Mysteries. You will blow your mind. You will be so upset by this show. It will just, you won't believe it. Kathy Hilton is joining the cast of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as a friend. Cue the tears from Kyle Richards. Am I right? Kyle is going to be completely like, they're going to be crying nonstop because Kathy sort of seems like the one. Remember, Kathy Hilton didn't speak to Kyle for a while over their sister Kim. I like this duo, or this trio, because probably Kim's going to be back in the mix too. I'm interested in this. Kathy Hilton is fascinating to me, I think. Talk about a stoic woman. When Paris, her documentary, first of all, her dad wouldn't even appear. And then Kathy was like, oh, honey, I know that we sent you to this like high school that was like a jail. I'm really sorry. Are you over it? I mean, Kathy is like hardcore. Hardcore. I'm ready for this. I think Kathy is going to be a savage. Kathy and Erica Jane. Oh, I wish Lisa Vanderpump and Kathy were there because I feel like there'd be two rich dueling biatches. You know what I'm saying? Like Lisa would have met her match. Rinna is going to suck her ass, so we know that. Erica might be like here or there. April, I think she'll have no fucks either. I can't wait. All right, I tease this because, you know, I'm a huge, sadly, I would be completely sucked into a cult. I think maybe our listener, Jennifer, jumped off. Earlier on the show, Jennifer left a comment on the live section saying that she was in a cult. And I'm so fascinated. I want to know more. So please, Jennifer, if you're still on, tell us. Keith Raniere, who's the head of NXIVM cult, and The Vow on HBO just wrapped up, was sentenced to 120 years in prison yesterday after essentially saying that he has no remorse. He doesn't believe he's guilty of any of the charges. He was found guilty on wire fraud, child pornography charges. Now, see, I hadn't heard that part, where he apparently took pictures of underage girls as collateral who joined the cult, kept them on his computer, and then also had sex with these women. He says all these charges are a lie. Okay, I mean, I understand finding a guru, but okay, look, the Dalai Lama, right? I'd love to be in the Dalai Lama's presence, but if the Dalai Lama wanted to have sex with me, like hard pass, right? I mean, does anyone find the Dalai Lama attractive? I'm sorry, I don't know how people get sucked in. You know, because at the end of the day, you still got to look. Are you taking off those thick bottled glasses to have sex with him? No. It's, of course, much more layered than that. They were brainwashed. They were starved. He calorie counted. He started this women's group called DOS, where they had to have masters and slaves. I'll tell you one thing. The government really doesn't like wire fraud, and they're not down with child pornography. 120 years. Here's the tea, though. The cult still is running and existing with 17,000 members nationwide. Your leader's going to jail. That doesn't give you pause. That doesn't make anyone. That is the shocker. I don't know if I didn't know that until I read that this morning, that there's still 17,000 members nationwide. Alive and well. And actually, I will tell you this other little tidbit, which is a listener had contacted me a while ago, and her friend is like a secretary out in California for them, because they continue to book events. They continue to, NXIVM still function. NXIVM is still, who's running NXIVM now though? If Keith was like the genius allegedly behind it. Ryan says he was so stupid. He said, I didn't do anything wrong. And then he said that he was sorry. What the F? I know. It was very strange. He essentially says that, yeah, he's not responsible for any of that. Karina says he's fucking nasty. Thank you for talking about this. Total red flag. Yeah. Well, I'm happy to talk about it. Okay, why all these people are jumping on? King of Fader says, I was in a cult before. Were you really? Tell us about the cult. I want to know. Nita says 17,000. Nita, mind blown. Google it later today if you have nothing to do. I'm sure you have a lot more to do. 17,000 NXIVM members still nationwide, active. That's crazy that people are still falling for this. Yeah. But you know, a lot of his followers have remained, including Allison Mack from Smallville. You guys know, you'd know Allison Mack if you saw her. She's remained loyal to him. She's married to a woman, although a lot of people say that's a sham. So the woman can have, I guess, U.S. citizenship. She's going to be sentenced later this fall. you talk about in the documentary, oh my God, you can see how he preyed on her. Such a vulnerable, so much talent, but you know that being a child actor really messes you up. You can see it like when she's in the documentary. Anyway, she's gonna be sentenced next. She's allegedly stuck by Keith. They all think Keith is great. I'm fascinated. I gotta have somebody that was in a cult be on this because I'm curious how you get in it. I'm just curious how you fall for it. And my thing is this, I always say to people, I would be in a cult until they ask you to take out your checkbook because you had to pay for all these classes with Nexium, thousands of dollars. Like I'm down with all that until they go, okay, now you're ready to tithe. Not really. You know what I mean? Like I'm a Catholic and I go and it's like hard for me to give $20 in the collection. I almost sometimes say to the collection guy, could you come back around? Can you break a 20? I mean, it's just, I'm sorry. It's hard for me, but like, I don't know. I'm cheap when it comes to these things. I'm just cheap. I want to be preached to. I want to know the Lord for free, you know? And I know they got to keep the lights on and everything, but bottom line is don't join the cult unless you're the leader. That's the truth. I agree. Oh, she's married to Nikki Klein from Battlestar. Thank you, Ryan Barnes. Allison Mack from Smallville is married to Nikki Klein from Battlestar. I don't know. You think it's real? Because I was reading this morning. They don't think the relationship is real, that they did it so Nikki Klein can get citizenship in the U.S. Karina says Keith has issues with women. The way he speaks negative about women, he has real issues. Actually, look at these two. They look like sisters. They're a cute lesbian couple. I like it. I hope they're together. Don't they look like twins? My God, these two look like the same human being. Anyway, that story I followed. Keith, anyhow. Okay, I want to thank Barry Harley, and then I want to do this last story of this local rapper. I want to know if anyone knew him in Virginia. So talented, so cute. Found in the trunk, allegedly murdered by his longtime friend. Barry Harley Photography. So let's segue to following and supporting our sponsors. I adore Barry Harley. He's a friend of mine and he works in Northern Virginia, DC. Actually, he works up and down the East Coast. He's an architectural photographer who's Marriott approved. If your business needs great photographs, headshots, pictures of your business for your website, for advertising and more, Barry Harley is your guy. Go to barryharley.com today. Check him out. Tell him that the Sarah Fraser Show sent you. He's really well known, highly respected. I've worked with him at many, many events. So you will adore him and you'll love his photography. Your business, if you're putting yourself out there, you got to have great quality pictures that you can use on social media, your website, and beyond. So book barryharley.com today and check out his website. Last story is this story of a guy, always a Virginia rapper who, by the way, lived in Triangle. I didn't even know he was missing, but the Miami Herald reported yesterday that Robert Avery Coltrane got into a car accident in a Florida expressway on Sunday afternoon. And after towing the car to a mall parking lot, patrol troopers became suspicious when they asked Coltrane to take his belongings out of the car. He had a gun case, and they also smelled a foul odor emitting from the vehicle. They noticed flies on the inside of his silver Acura, only to pop the trunk and find the decomposing body of 25-year-old Brian Trotter, whose remains were wrapped in a piece of fabric. These two had allegedly been friends for 10 years. Now, Brian's rapper name was Kent Won't Stop. He was from Triangle, Virginia, and his family, he went missing on October 17th. His family reported him missing shortly after that. He's such a cutie. Like so young. What happened? So far, they are not releasing a motive for this. Coltrane had made up a bunch of stories about whereabouts and then had fled to Florida, even saying that he had dropped Brian off at somebody else's house and, you know, was kind of skirting police, wasn't available to the family. And then sure enough, he gets in a car crash and they find him. What would have been the motive? Cause says friends murder friends multiple times a day. They do? They do? This, I mean, and of course, you know what's the weirdest thing, right? Is we all go to their social media. So I went to Kent Won't Stop. That's his rapper name. That's his Instagram name. Of course, people leaving beautiful messages, but so handsome. I'm just like, damn, what could have happened? Don't you think they were probably on drugs? Like, don't you think he was on drugs? Like he had to be high, right? How would you do this? Such a huge life ahead. So sad for the family. Tons of you guys listen in Virginia and around Triangle. So I don't know if anyone went to high school with him. I know we don't know these people. Anything could be going on. You have no idea. No, family murders family. Okay, I'll say this. Yeah, most of the time, if you're going to get killed, it's usually by your spouse. So you're right. Family murders family. That's for sure. Friends for 10 years, Valerie says. So sad. You think money, Lydia says maybe the money was the problem. You know what? And here I am, like totally asking everyone, hey, let's speculate. Let's start rumors. This is why I'm not a reporter, because I don't want to be a journalist, because here's my thing. I would just get out of Triangle and knock on doors and be like, what do you guys think happened? And then they could say, well, you know, they were involved with aliens and Keith Raniere's cult, and then they killed each other. You know, I mean, I believe all that shit, and then I'd report it. Someone says jealousy. You know, he crashed because there was a ghost. Well, you want to talk about karma coming back to you, right? Crashes in Miami. They tow his vehicle, then become suspicious. April Banks says unsolved mysteries. Well, it's not, because they already suspect him, of course. And they found a gun, an unregistered gun in his car. So they believe they're already putting two and two together, that that's the gun that he used to kill his friend and then put him in the trunk. This story is so tragic. But also, I'm like, I feel like this just should be getting a lot more attention. Maybe not, because I guess they pretty much know. They just don't know the motive. That's what's so sad to me. It's like, why? Why'd this happen? Kazi, I think the caliber was the same. Look at me, like I'm here I go, like I'm some sort of fucking detective. Anyway, no, that story really bothered me. He was so cute. I went to his Instagram page, and I'm just like, you know, I'm just gonna leave a message. And I'm like, I didn't even know him, but it just bothers me so much when things like that happen. It's so pointless, you know. 2 lives are ruined, their entire families. Anyhow, sorry to leave you on a depressing note. Let's shift gears. I'm fascinated by local stories. That's one that I'm fascinated by. And I'll forever be fascinated by the University of Maryland guy that was out on a movie shoot, I think out in Idaho, completely ran off set and has never been found again. That one's a crazy one too. That's an unsolved one. And the family believes that the people on set knew more. I guess they said that he had some kind of like psychotic break and then just ran off and they couldn't find him. All right, let's shift gears. Let's do something positive. So tomorrow on the show, I have some big announcements coming up for guests. But tomorrow on the show, if you guys are on TikTok, I'm obsessed with TikTok now. I do. I love it. So there's a guy who goes up to people who own luxury vehicles. I'm talking $1 million cars. I'm talking $350,000 Ferraris. And he asks them what they do for a living. Have you seen this guy? He's inspiring. He's comical. People say the craziest shit. Like one chick is like, I'm married. It's like, bitch, it must be nice. She's like driving this like $400,000 Bentley. Okay. So he goes up to people, but his name is It's Daniel Mack on TikTok. Check out his stuff. He's going to be on the show tomorrow because I'm fascinated. Does he go up to these people cold? What's some of the craziest answers? Has Hollywood been calling him? You know, this guy is 23 years old and he has struck gold on TikTok by finding this out. And people are super inspired by his account, but he's also getting backlash for something, which I'll be curious to see if you can guess what it is. So he'll be on the show tomorrow. It's Daniel Mack. You can check him out on Instagram too, if you haven't. Very cool. And I think it's interesting because don't you always drive by rich people's homes and stuff, and you always want to go and knock and be like, so what did you do to be in this 10,000 square foot home? Like, what are you doing? You know? I want to know what people do. I'm fascinated to go inside people's houses. April says, oh my gosh, straight random people. He goes up to straight random people down there in Texas. He's in Texas. So anyway. Okay. I love, you know, you guys are amazing. I absolutely love you. Today, if you get a chance, be sure to tell somebody about the show that has never heard of us. Go to iTunes, leave a review, hit 5 stars. Tell me what you love about the show. I'm getting close to 700 reviews. I want 1,000. So the goal is to get to 1,000. Love you guys all so much. Brand new show tomorrow and some big surprises coming soon. Bye, everyone.